Shalom, brothers and sisters. Shalom. Giving honor and praise unto the Most High, the Creator and the Maker of heaven and earth. My name is Yeshaya Yisrael of the tribe of Dan of the nation of Israel. This particular, brothers and sisters, class, we intend to continue in this particular manner and on this particular channel for edification purposes, if we will. We ask you all, brothers and sisters, to join in, to share the video, to like the video. And, brothers and sisters, my contact information, 908-587-4841, is available for me to be reached in case if anyone has a question concerning the presentation or the class. We are going to do our best in maintaining a consistent matter regarding this particular subject, regarding the language. This used to be, brothers and sisters, on the channel More Yeshaya Torah lessons. Nonetheless, brothers and sisters, we want to sit there and use this channel, More Yeshaya Hebrew lessons, regarding the Hebrew classes and so forth, regarding the language, to maintain some kind of order, at least within the different channels that I speak on. Giving honor to the creator of heaven and earth. Shalom, how are you doing? Welcome to the channel, More Yeshaya Hebrew lessons. From this day forward, the Hebrew classes will be on this channel. We ask you all to subscribe, and this channel is set for kids, children, so no comment can be left in the video outside of it being on live. However, I can be reached at 908-587-4841. All right. So just want to point this out for edification purposes, if we will. Next slide. Leviticus chapter 11, verse 47. And we want to use, brothers and sisters, the laser pointer in this particular case. It says, Lahabdil bain hatame, ubain hatahor, ubain hakaya, hane ekelet, ubain hakaya asher lo te akel. To make a difference between the unclean and the clean, and between the living thing that may be eaten and the living thing that may not be eaten. So, as we already know, Leviticus 11 deals with the diet that the house of Israel was supposed to have. All right. And then what we're going to go over and talk about in this particular case is some of the Hebrew of this particular chapter, focusing on the 47th verse. Again, we ask you all to subscribe to the channel, to comment when live, and brothers and sisters, to share the video. And again, as you can see across the screen, my contact info of 908-587-4841 is there. Let's go on, if you will, to the next slide. Thank you so much. The matter of Badal and Habdil. What you're seeing right here is the word Lahabdil. And here it is in English lettering. L apostrophe HAB apostrophe DEEL, Lahabdil, to divide. Now, when you look at the word there, infinitive, that means it's a matter that is more concrete. Let me give an example. Take another common verb, amor. Amor in Hebrew means to say. Now, in Hebrew, when you add the prefix of the letter lamed, in many cases, especially in dealing with verbs, it becomes its infinitive. So when I say something to the effect of amar means to say, that is not to say literally. The way to say literally is lemor with the L sound in the beginning. So if I were to sit there and say habdel means to divide or hebdil means to divide, that is its root. But if you're saying ani, I, rotse, want, Lahabdil, I want to divide. That's how that will be grammatically done. Ani, I, rotse, want. Lemor, I want to say. A person with understanding, and it says amor means to say, one is given its fundamental roots. But when you show it in the aspect of its infinitive, meaning to or for, to say, to eat, to divide, for dividing, you have to add the prefix of the lamed letter there, as we see here in this particular case. And I'm going to, brothers and sisters, highlight where the letter lamed is in this particular case. All right. And I'm going to highlight with a different color where we know this here with the letter hey. Now, this word means to divide literally. This is used in either a masculine or feminine way. So, what am I pointing out by saying a masculine or feminine way, brothers and sisters, is that when you're dealing with the language itself, all right, and you get into the language itself, if you were to say lahabdil, meaning to divide, or if you were to say lemor, meaning to divide, it doesn't matter about the masculine or the feminine in that case. It neither does it matter about the quantity of people that you're speaking to or about in that case. So if there's 18 or 19 people, be it or male or female, or be it brothers and sisters, a mixture of male and female, you would still say it's infinitive to divide, to say, to do, to work, to see, whatever that is in that particular case. All right. This is a he feel stem verb, the root being he deal, as we see here. All right. Now, let's go back, if we will, brothers and sisters, with the laser pointer. The root of this in the qual stem is badal. And this word means to divide or to separate. To command a male to separate or divide, one would say habdel. To tell a female, it is habdili. Shalom. What am I saying? Now, let's look at this right here and highlight a particular matter, right? We're saying, looking at the command form in this particular case, right? If you're saying separate or divide. So if I'm talking to a brother about a particular matter and I'm saying divide or separate, I would say habdale. If I'm talking to a female, regardless of the age of the male or the female I'm speaking to, well, I would say either habdale to the male or habdali to the female. So these are things we just want to point out for edification purposes. All right. So again, I am asking the people subscribe to the channel. This has been a while. I think it's been a month since I posted something on this particular channel. But recently on the Shabbat, I have been doing my lives about Hebrew classes on the Torah page. And I want to do the Hebrew class on the Hebrew page to maintain some kind of order. All right. So this is just something we want to point out for edification and reference purposes. So, all right. Let's say if I'm talking to my daughter and I'm saying divide the sandwich, the word for sandwich in Hebrew, I'm going to type it in here. All right. Sandwich is karik. All right. So if I were to talk to my daughter, I would say habdali hakarik. I would tell her divide the sandwich. I would say habdali hanose, divide the subject. So we just want to point out for reference purposes what we're dealing with. All right. If there's any questions, please feel free to ask inside of the comment section in the live here. Let's go on to the next part. All right. Laser pointer. Bain hamate or bain hatahor. The words here. Bain hat bain hatame or bain hatahor. This is bain hatame, not bain hamate. Salika. Pardon me. All right, that's the letter Tet, that's the letter Mem, that's the letter Aleph. All right, Bain Hatame Ubain Hatahor. Bain All right, wanna show this real quick, no problemo. Doom, doom, doom. In live matter, that T and M had to be switched. I apologize, family. Alrighty. So now, Bain Hatame, between the unclean. All right, looking at it in that particular case. Then we have here Ubain, and we want to show this with the laser pointer. All right, Ubain and between Hatahor. All right, I made another little boo boo. That is the clean. I sorry again, family. Okay, so let's look. Now you have here, brothers and sisters. We're gonna show here with the laser pointer, if we will. Right, Tame, meaning unclean. All right, and Tahor meaning clean. The word Bain means between. The word Hatame means the unclean. The word Tame comes from the word Tama, which means to become unclean or to become polluted. Tama. This is a Lamed Aleph verb. This is the root word. Now, brothers and sisters, a Lamed Aleph verb, and I'm going to point this out, if we will, with the highlighter, is any verb that ends with the letter Aleph. And it shows how it's its own particular formation inside of the matter of the future tense. For instance, in the shilamim verb, such as the word katab, meaning to write, or the word shamar, meaning to watch, you would have it as he will watch is yishmor, right? Whereas inside the matter of a lamed aleph verb, which is considered by many quote unquote an irregular verb, being that it ends with the letter aleph, it's yitma and not say yitmo, as in yishmor. So I just want to point that out with the vowel matter on how that matter works in that particular case. Yitma means he will be unclean, he will be polluted. That's what that word means in that particular case. All right. So again, you have here, and we're going to point this out step by step with the laser pointer. All right. Bane, between. Ha, the. Tame, between the unclean. U, and. Bane, between. In between. Ha, the. Ta, hor. When you look at the letter hey there that you see where the laser pointer is, you will notice that the dot or the dagesh or so is on the top of the letter hey. So just want again point this out for edification purposes. All right. For those been following along, yes, I had to change from this particular case where it says tahor. I had first typed in unclean, but that was a typo, so I changed it. All right. Constructive criticism always accepted. Now let's look, brothers and sisters. Ubain Hachaya, giving a shout out to the sister Tella B. Thank you for joining on. All right. Ubain Hachaya, and between the living creature. Ubain Hachaya. As noted, the word bain means between. Bain Ish Ubain Isha, between a man and between a woman. Bain Hashulkan Ubain Hakise, between the table and between the chair. Bein hamita ubein haritzpa, between the bed and between the floor. So whatever example you're talking about, whatever nouns you're using, or any verb you're using, or any adjective you're using, the word for between stays the same. And I want to emphasize that it doesn't go into plural. So it's like bain means between. There's no bainim for its equivalent in its plural. All right. So just want to point that out. So if you were to say ha'anashim, the men, and if you were to then say nashim, the women, you would say Ha'anashim bain hanashim. The men between the women. Bain ha'anashim ubain hanashim. Between the men and between the women. You will not, brothers and sisters, sit there and say to the effect, bain hanashim ubainim ha'anashim. It wouldn't be no bainim in that particular case. So we just want to point that out. All right. The word hachaya means the living creature. In many Hebrew dictionaries, they will tell you that the word chaya means living animal, but it doesn't only mean animal, it also means anything that's alive, animal or otherwise. All right. The word chaya comes from the word chaya, meaning in verb to live. Chaya, verb to live, noun, living creature. So we can see this word here, brothers and sisters, kaya, is both a verb, meaning to live. Now, this is the living like you are alive, not like I live in New York or I live in Pennsylvania or I live in New Jersey. That is the word gur from gar, which means to reside, or yoshed from yashab, which means to settle or sit. But if you're talking about that which is alive, that is the root word chaya. And so this is what we want to point out. And I put the picture of the deer there because I happen to like venison. And that's something that came to my mind once it came down to the matter of such. All right. So that's a living creature that is tahor, that is clean. All right. Next slide. Thank you. All right. So now let us get, if we will, brothers and sisters, to a crux of the lesson in this. Some verbs, masculine, feminine, and its nifal stem, which is a stem that we haven't spoken upon much in the Hebrew classes when it was even done on the other channel. Again, from this moment forward, there will be no more Hebrew classes or Hebrew lessons on Mora Yeshaya Torah lessons. It will be on this channel. There's also a playlist on this channel of Hebrew classes for those who are interested. All right. Ha ne'kelet. The matter of ne'kelet. Now let's look at this and let us, brothers and sisters, let us highlight this letter hey. All right, so we can go in real time to the best of our ability. All right, the matter of ne'kelet. And now let us, brothers and sisters, highlight. We're going to use this in green. Highlight this. That word ha that you see there in the yellow, that is a prefix meaning the. Or in sometimes when you're dealing, brothers and sisters, as pointed out 2 weeks ago, the word ha, when dealing with verbs, in this particular case, you use it in the present tense, and what it means is who, that, or which. That which is eaten, that which is spoken upon, that which is speaking, he who is speaking. You would use the word ha. I want to, in the future, do the distinction between when you say ha, meaning that, or asher, meaning that, because there is a distinction between the two. And we'll go into that in a future lesson. All right. The word ne'kelet means to be eaten. It is a nifal verb stem. The nifal stem is discussed on this channel, Hebrew lesson number 39. So that's a lesson from a little over a year ago or so on this channel, Mora Yeshaya Hebrew lessons. If you go and type in Mora Yeshaya Hebrew lessons number 39, you will see that there is a lesson explaining this nifal stem. All right. This is the passive of the qual. The word ne'ekal, as we see here, ne'ekal, this is a Nephil's word, means to be eaten in root and in literal way, it will be eaten. All right. So this is something we want to point out for edification purposes. In the qual, which is the stem before it's nifal, it is akal. So let us look at this and let us take some print notes, if we will. Right. Let's highlight this. You have the word here, akal. What, brothers and sisters, is the distinction between the akal that you see there and I want to circle this, all right, with the pen. We see the word here being circled, ne'ekal, right? And what that means, that's its nifal stem because it has, brothers and sisters, the noon, ne'ekal, ne'ekelet, all right? That has, brothers and sisters, the noon as a prefix inside of the nifal stem. And as pointed out, passive of the qual is the nifal. So let's look. Passive in definition so we could gain some understanding. All right? Accepting or allowing what happens or what others do without active response or resistance. That is the definition of the word passive. The table is passive, the hand is active. The bottle you just saw me deal with, that is passive. It shows no resistance. My hand in picking it up is the active. So the qual is the active to eat, to touch, to take. The nif'al is the passive of the qual to be eaten, to be taken, to be touched. So we just want to point this out for edification purposes. All right. If there's any questions, please feel free to ask. Again, as you see, my number is across the screen, 908-587-4841. All right. So let's go on, if you will, to the next slide. The matter of te'akel. The word te'akel is like ne'ekelet, as we see there, a nif'al verb. The meaning of te'akel is it shall be eaten. Now, in the Hebrew, brothers and sisters, and we want to show this with the highlighter, hachaya, and while you're following along, I'm going to color code the highlighted part. I share in the red, low in the blue, and in the green, te'akel. Now, as we pointed out, looking at this, right? Important. Akal means to eat. That is in the qual stem. Ne'ekal is the passive of such. It's in the nifal stem. So in root, akal means to eat. And in root, ne'ekal means to be eaten. We went over the word karik earlier. Akal karik. He ate a sandwich. Karik ne'ekal. A sandwich was eaten. That's how that works between this active and the passive matter within the language. All right. Again, there's notes on the nifal stem in this presentation on this channel. Sorry, lesson number 39. Done a little, say, over a year ago or so. All right. So now, remember when I said earlier that the akal had the prefix of the noon, as we see here, being highlighted in the green, right? And I want to, if I may, brothers and sisters, pin and show that noon being circled in the yellow. So this noon, all right, it's not cooperating with me on that one. Let's look. Laser pointer. Let's go back up and look at the laser pointer. When you look at this noon here and this noon here, that right there, brothers and sisters, is the nifal aspect. Now, let's look at that. And remember, we just said that the word here, te'akel, is also a nifal stem. The issue is when you deal with the nifal in the future tense, take notes upon this. The noon that normally would have been there in its present tense and in the past tense is not in the present tense. This is what we want to point out regarding the matter of the language itself. All right. So now the word haya is a feminine word. It ends in a hey, the living creature in that case. The way to say it will be must also be in the feminine. Hence, we see the word te'akel. The tau, making the T sound, shows it to be feminine. So let's look and color code this and explain what we were just talking about from that. This right here, matter of fact, I'm gonna do it in a different color, if we will, right? All right. Highlighter, te'akel. This tau that you see as its prefix that we see here, just color coded in the yellow, that shows it to be the feminine matter. Now, let's look. Because tau is a feminine letter, it coincides and agrees with the word haya. Now, let us, brothers and sisters, going to show this, if we will, right? And I want to take out the time because I set it up like that, kind of like on purpose, if we will. That's not what I wanted to do. Torah for the time, family. All right. Now let's look at this right here in this hay, which I'm going to bold, and I'm going to black back color drop it yellow, and I'm going to make this letter hay red. Now, why are we going there meticulously to understand grammar in the language itself? The word chaya, meaning living creature, it ends, brothers and sisters, with, as we pointed out numerous times, okay? But there's nothing wrong with repetition in this matter. As we pointed out again and again, please subscribe to the channel, I ask, right? You have ha chaya, the living creature, that ends in the letter H, showing its femininity. Thus, the tau, being a feminine letter too, has to be there for the verb to agree in gender with the noun kaya, meaning living creature. The noun here is this case the word kaya, meaning a living creature. Now, when you speak about it being eaten or it eating, you have to speak about it in a feminine connotation. So even if we was talking about the deer that has the antlers, which is masculine, if you use the word kaya, just meaning living creature, be it a masculine living creature or a female living creature, it is still under the feminine aspect. Gets a little deeper because from a female comes life, but that's a whole other subject. But we just want to point out, brothers and sisters, for edification purposes in the language, in linguistic matters, how this kind of matter work. Why is it that it is te'akel and not ye'akel? The tau signifying the feminine entity or the feminine matter once it comes down to the language. Because the word chaya is a feminine word, so whatever adjective or verb about it has to also be in the feminine, in agreement. So, in order for it to agree, so as one of my main teachers stated, Hebrew is the language of gender. So let us go on and conclude out, brothers and sisters. Again, my number is flashed across there, 908-587-4841. Subscribe, like the channel. I'm asking you. Giving honor to the creator. I am appreciative to be able to teach the language the book was written in. And by book, I mean Bible, namely the Old Testament. I am appreciative to the people who take out their time to support the channel. We ask you all to click like, share, and subscribe to the channel. As noted, from this day forward, the Hebrew lessons will be on this channel, not the Moriah Shire Torah Lessons channel. We ask you all to subscribe to both channels. I can be reached 908 587 4841 or on my Facebook, Yeshaya Author Danite, or Instagram, Yeshaya and Author, YESHIAHANAUTHOR. All right. So there is the different ways in which to reach out to a brother. I am open for constructive criticism. If I noticed I made a mistake, I have no problem correcting myself. So be it. It's a part of life. Instruction is a part of life. That's what Solomon stated in a nutshell in the book of Proverbs. A person who can't stand to be corrected, that's not good. All right. So we just want to point this out for reference purposes, giving honor to the Creator, the Most High, the one who sees all and is not seen, the one who judges all and is not judged. Again, my number 908 587 4841. All right, I can be reached at that, giving honor to Yah. Shalom.